It's pretty safe to say that the Sulfur community has been eating real good since the forest dropped. We immediately got Guns and Magic, which added 5 new guns, 12 new scrolls, 100 new oils, not to mention the new bow and arrow that was dropped in the forest. I mean, it's overwhelming how much content we're getting at a rapid pace. They're keeping true to their word of just content, and I absolutely love it. But because of that, it has made it really hard to make videos or update older videos like the weapon and scrolls tier list, which I am currently, those are like 2 of the first in line that I want to update with all the new stuff we've gotten. But as I was working on those things, learning the guns, the oils, the scrolls, it's going to take some time, but I'm doing my best. As I was doing those things, I realized we never really touched base on an optimal loadout in Sulfur, something that you're going to need every run. Like, what should you be bringing into runs? What weapons would work where? I generally think it's better to have a build loadout that works in all environments. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Actually, we might need to move. Hold on. I think we do need to move the webcam here, or else we're going to be in a weird spot. So let's just float on over here. You could see possibly a game I'm going to be running soon. I forgot to disable the preview. This is a mess. But that's all right, because I'm back at it. I am exhausted, if you can't tell. It's been a crazy week, more 2-3 weeks. I don't know. It's been absolutely exhausting. I got a killer headache, bloodshot eyes, but I am so itching to do more content. The April Fool's joke is one thing, but let's do this. Let's get into it. Hopefully this can help people that are equal parts new to the game and an equal amount of people that have been playing for a while that are interested to see how I look at building a loadout, mostly general loadout, but I have put a lot of things in all the available storage boxes. When are we getting a forest storage update? Hopefully next patch, man. That's all I'm saying, please. And we have a lot to go through. So let's keep on rambling through. And in the first box, we have to talk about weapons. So there's a general rule of thumb in this game that there is one class of weapons that will work in pretty much any scenario, and it's almost always a good idea to have one on you. Not only is it automatic weapons, but it is assault weapons. I gotta say, the Corpse Maker is probably the most appealing because you can get it from the Hockland salesman whenever you'd like it. So do that. I'm just realizing no matter where I put this damn webcam, it's going to be hard to see what's going on. So I'm going to turn it off when I'm inside the boxes. I don't know. We're going to figure this out. This is all about storage, and storage takes up about 90%. I guess I could put it down here. I mean, I could, but that sounds like a lot of work. So let's just not. I don't know. It's not that much work, but I feel bad tapping out on. Okay. So you got a lot of options when it comes to assault weapons. You've got the Corpse Maker, you've got the Catacoil, the Fisk, the Typhoon. You could bring in some SMGs like the Vrede. You can gun crank the Starred Witness. That is my absolute favorite weapon to gun crank in the whole game. Super fun. The Ploika Compact fits in any inventory. It only takes up 4 spots. You can carry it as a third gun. You're not just limited to 2 guns. You can bring a third gun whenever you want. There's other optimal sidearms like the Gravekeeper, also sold by the Hockland salesman. If you don't know who that is, you can meet him in the caves, and inside said caves, he will supply you with this. I could move it to the bottom right. Let's move it to the bottom right, and then we'll never talk about it again. We'll never talk about it again. This is your first time seeing me. You're confused, and that's okay. That's okay, because I get a little bit of a pass, all right? My kid, he's going crazy. He's got a cold, and he just had his vaccines yesterday, his year 1 vaccines, and he's just not sleeping well. And it's been up to Dada to take care of that. It's really weighing on me. But let's friggin' do this. So, not only do you want to bring in something automatic because it's great for clearing a room full of enemies. This game can overwhelm you with enemies very quickly. Or it's also good for breaking masks on humans when you're in town or sometimes in caves. And then everywhere else in the rest of the game. So they're great for doing that. They're great for breaking masks. They're great for clearing rooms. It's an assault rifle. It works well anywhere. But not only that, you can also get trinkets that will give you increased assault rifle damage. So they should be in here, but I think they're in a couple boxes to the right. So we'll get to those, and I'll explain all of those when we get there. But not only do you want something automatic to help ease some pressure when it's on you and it's almost overwhelming. But you're also going to want something that's going to smack like a truck. You're going to want a heavy hitter gun, something to take down big enemies. Say you're in the forest and the Hulk jumps out from the trees. You're going to want something that will either 1, 2, or 3 tap him if it's, if that's the best you can do at the moment, that's fine. Something like the Impala Gravita. You have to work for this one a little bit. You have to pull back and wait for the perfect shot. I've started to personally enjoy the Taylor Marksman with the 50 BMG chisel a lot more than the Impala Gravita. I mean, not only do I feel like I'm getting out my shots faster, if I miss 1 or 2, it's fine. It's a great gun. If you haven't tried the Taylor Marksman, give it a shot. There's also the old classic, the Rokua. I still really like the Rokua. Once again, I 50 BMG that thing, and you could build this easily to 1-tap big boys. And if you don't know much about gun building, I recommend watching the gun building crash course, which will probably need another update once I understand all 100 new oils, because that really changed the game. It changed gun building completely with new stuff like penetration, crazy thing to say, bullet speed, and then some weird oils like the matrix oil. Like, everything has changed so drastically, so quickly. It makes me nervous about what I should or shouldn't do, but we're still going to keep going. You could also do the shotgun route, something that's going to pack a punch. A lot of these shotguns do have decent range. They were really bad for a while, and then they got buffed across the board, and shotguns are really good now. They used to be terrible. The Augusta's an exception. The Augusta was always amazing. You can use this at range. You can use it up close. You can make it infinite ammo with the mosquito oil and a savior oil, which is probably my preferred method of doing so now. So you get a bit of a damage hit, but anything that's doing a lot of damage is not going to matter too much. It can hurt with shotgun chisels and shotgun ammo and everything, but that's okay. It's totally doable. I mean, you get infinite ammo. It's a decent trade-off. So there you go. I mean, that's it, really. And you can also use priming bolts or gun cranks to change, say, this gun crank onto the Star and Witness will make it fully automatic. Again, it's my favorite gun-to-gun crank. Take the priming bolt, you throw it on the Typhoon, make it semi-automatic. That's going to give it a damage buff, and it becomes a nasty semi-auto. I absolutely love this thing as a semi-auto. It's probably my favorite assault rifle semi-auto because it already smacks like a damn truck. Oh, it turns out this one, I already had it kitted, so yeah, there's that. I already built this one. This was my Sewers Silencer run. Okay, I don't think anything else in here is kitted, just that one. That's weird. I don't know why I did that. I also recommend bringing some repair kits, especially if you're going on a full run of the entire game. I'll usually carry 1, sometimes 2, depending on the build. If I didn't think too much about the durability and I was more worried about the impact a gun will have, then I'm going to probably need 2 repair kits. You've also got scopes, my favorite being the sniper scope. Obviously, for any long-range one-tappers that you've built, that's a great option. The compact sight is my favorite for everything else because you still get plus 20% on your crit chance, and also it's not too intrusive. I find the reflex looks a little weird, and it's a little, I don't know, I don't like it too much, but this one, it's just a dot. It's just basically moving your reticle up, sweetheart. It's okay. That's not bad. That doesn't seem that intrusive to me. I really like it. It's only ×2, so it's a good option for that. As far as gun muzzles go, you've got stuff like the Wormage Compensator, which isn't even a muzzle, but it does the same thing as the other one. So if you don't want a big clunky silencer or a small, not clunky muzzle brake on there, you can go ahead and put on the Wormage, and it's just going to slap it on the side, get that same recoil and spread effect. There are some barrels that will slow you down. I don't recommend those except for specific builds. Mostly those one-tapper builds are things that you want extreme precision on, like from there's a long barrel, which I should have put it in here, that will take it and give you -1 spread, which is kind of huge. So I recommend it if you're doing that. I'll just turn this thing to a sniper real quick. Just real fast. A little, it's more of a marksman because we don't have BMG on there. But that's about it for weapons. Of course, as always, if you have any more questions that you want to ask me or anyone that would like to answer questions in the comments is more than welcome to do so. It's hard to read your mind. I have some ideas that we could do in the future. You know, when I stream, a lot of people come in with questions, and I love that because I've played 350 hours of this game or something, so I have a lot of answers to a lot of questions, but that doesn't mean I'm going to immediately think of what could be asked. I'm sure you've already got a bazillion questions about weapons. There's so much in this game, but I'm going to do my best to cover a lot of bases here. And the second most important thing when going on any run is going to be your armor. That's right, your armor. And now armor in this game is a little bit weird because it doesn't seem like it does a whole lot. That base armor stat doesn't seem like it's all that crazy. I always get nervous that my audio is going to be wonky, especially with the April Fool's video. Seb, I think he churned down the gain, and I think I got it back right, but we'll never know for sure. And no, I don't have 2 SULFURs again. I did use dev mode to bring in a lot of this stuff because what do you want me to do? I'm not going to go out and collect every single item that I can think to talk on. This video would take months to make. So I went dev mode, erased everything on my storages, and just did this real quick, all right? Don't hate me. So I don't know the exact value you're getting from just the base armor stat, but a lot of things come with additional stats that will help a lot. My personal favorite for a head would be that titanium helmet, which gives you a nice 13 plus armor. So that's already really high, but that explosion resistance of 90 is crazy. That's super big and is basically going to mean you won't die from mines anymore. If they're going to start handing out nerfs again, I wouldn't be shocked to see this thing drop because I never took it off. That's the thing with armor. A lot of the time, you're not going to take it off. You're going to find what suits your playstyle and never change it up. Sometimes you will, depending, but not really. Me personally, at least. You've also got stuff that'll give you like an extra jump from the Pope hat. So if you didn't want to use 1 SULFUR or you didn't want to use 2, you can have a 3rd jump or a 2nd jump from the Pope hat, which it's pretty niche, but it could be good for some speed running strats. You got the Rudolph nose. This is just an example of something that's kind of a meme, you know? It turns the game into like it just turns the game into shit. I don't know what else I don't want to put that on, so I'm not going to. And then you've got some really cool stuff like the Winter Scarf, giving you that frost resistance and a 20% move speed, which is just kind of insane. If you start to pair that with, say, a couple of pairs of running shoes, watch this. We're going to be zooming. Look at the zoom off of that. It's basically like you consumed a power bar and you didn't have to. It's super nice. I'm a big stan of SULFURs, so I like that extra jump. But even with 1 SULFUR and that sprint bonus from the running shoes, we are zooming. It's super good. And speaking of the shoes, running shoes, you're going to get like a plus 10 move speed and a plus 15 sprint bonus. So when you have 2 of those, that's the 30% sprint bonus. You could basically run past anything that scares you in the game. I'm not done talking about heads. SULFUR, I feel like I should mention these because I talked about them a little bit. Move speed plus 10, extra jumps plus 1 armor. These seem to be some of the rarest shoes to find in the game. I found 3 in a total of 350 hours. So if you find them, even if you don't want them at the moment, hold on to them. Just hold on to them because they seem to be so much more rare than a lot of things. For a lot of people, not just myself, although there could be some asshole out there who's got like 30 of them and he's just sitting on them. You also have other armor options, equipment options, whatever you want to call it, gear, that will give you specific bonuses towards what weapons you're using. So you can wear a police hat, get pistol damage, and I'm not showing every example of each piece of equipment. Some stuff I want you to find on your own and wonder and ponder. If you don't want to do that, just ask in the comments. Someone or myself will tell you, oh yeah, there's a robe that gives you shotgun damage, don't worry. Cowboy hat is another example. Revolver damage, plus 2 armor. So if you're worried about just extreme damage, go for it. I like to cover all my bases and have some armor just in case that is helping me more. I don't know the exact number. I still feel like I get hit by semi-truck goblins every time I get hit, so I don't know. Moving on to chest gear. This is another interesting one you could consider for your daily runs that you could use pretty much anywhere. Again, that's what I go for, is a ballistic vest, plus 12 armor, plus 15% accuracy when moving. Comparatively, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, why wouldn't you use the plate carrier? It's got plus 25 armor. Yeah, that's double that, but you don't get that accuracy, and you get a negative move speed. Me personally, movement in this game is one of the biggest factors for my playstyle. I do not like to be stagnant. I like to rush through everything, and it just makes you feel like more of a badass, you know? Like zooming through and killing stuff like that. I know a big one for a lot of like Sulfies is the Samurai Armor. And the Samurai Armor gives you plus 10 armor, which is really nice. And then an added bonus of 100% melee damage. So you'll be doing twice the melee damage. That is nothing to scoff at. And I use this one for a little bit. It's very fun, especially if you pair it with the shoes, which are the Gettas, which give you another 10% movement speed, 1 armor, and 25% melee damage. You throw these all together, it does stack, and you will be getting 150 extra melee damage. There probably will be a head at some point. I'm assuming when Fortress comes out, because I think that's going to be like an Asian-inspired area. I don't know for sure, but just looking at the loading screen, listening to the music, that's my best guess. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because I don't even know, but I'm guessing. So I wouldn't be shocked if we got like a helmet for that. That would give that last 50%, give you 200% melee damage on top of that. And then it might be worth running pretty much all the time because melee is okay and it can work good in lower level situations. But don't depend on melee too much in higher ranged areas unless you've got these buffs. And there are other things that can bring that damage buff up, and we'll get to that. Some other shoe options that I think are good pretty much all the time is the high-quality elf shoe. That's got a plus 10% movement speed, coyote time 0.2 seconds, 1 luck and 1 armor. Now, was some debate. I don't think it's debated anymore what luck did, or if luck worked, I should say. No one really knows what luck does, per se. There's theories that luck could give you more chests in a level, or it will give you more like of the Easter eggs, or loot will drop from enemies more often. No one knows for sure, but it does seem to have an impact. But it's all RNG anyways, so I don't know. It's up to you. Do you want to believe? It's like Santa Claus. Do you want to believe? I sure do, even though most Christmases were canceled for me. But moving on, combat boots are another great option. I know a lot of people like these. You get that plus 25% accuracy when moving. If you pair this with the ballistic vest, that's 65% accuracy when moving. And then weapon weight is minus 20%. I mean, these shoes are pretty crazy. So you're going to be moving faster if your weapons weigh less, right? Because the heavier your weapon is, the slower you move. So if we had, let's put this away. If we had a Rokua compared to a Ploika, we should notice a movement difference. Yeah, very much so. And those combat shoes are going to change that. So you move even quicker. So the weight's not affecting it. It's as theorized. I mean, we don't get a lot of answers here from Perfect Random. They like to keep us, confused. I don't know what their strat is there. They like to keep us guessing. Another popular pick is the spring coil boots to give you that extra jump power. I just moved these. I'm going to move them back. God damn it. So this is always an interesting one. I've seen people pair these with the SULFURs, so those extra jumps can be extra high. You become a bunny rabbit. These are pretty good. I don't recommend using 2 at the same time. I find the value starts to decrease. I think 1 is already more than enough. And I would rather use a SULFUR with it if I was going to use anything. But I'm not a big fan of spring coil boots. I am if I can't find anything else. But I think they're like the precursor to getting SULFURs. I think, and that's probably a hot topic. Some people might be mad that I said that. I'm sorry. Another great option for explosion resistance is the blast boot, which is going to give you plus 15 on both. A little bit of armor, but a negative movement speed. Once again, I don't agree with negative movement speed, okay? So use that at your own discretion. It can be huge, plus 30% explosion resistance. There's also glasses. Sunglasses will give you explosion resistance. Moving on to throwables. I decided to throw all the throwables in here because there's not a whole lot. I do recommend having 1 throwable in your hot bar, your hotkeys up here, because having 1 of them, you can pull it out and run at the same... For real? Goddamn game. And run at the same speed as if you were sprinting with your sword out, because your sword weighs realistically nothing and you get max sprint speed from it. So if we were to stop using the sword, we slow down a little bit, we pull out the grenade, and we would be moving at the same sprint speed as the sword. So any throwable is going to act like that. Now, there are a couple of gags with these throwables. Be careful if you choose to be a dynamite head. That thing is going to keep going down. It's going to keep going down. And then you explode. So be very careful with that. I'm not about to explode right now. I'm not even sure if I could survive the explosion with the armor that we have on, so I'm not going to try it. Then, of course, you got cryogenic grenades. These are actually a lot stronger than you think. I personally like to use them on the Caves mini-boss, the big splitter guys, the big boys with the big boards. These are a great option for those dudes because you throw it at him. If you had two, you could throw it at the first one, and then he'll just die, and then you throw them at the three as soon as they spawn up. You could hit all three of them and just breeze past that. The Jar of Love is really good because it's a guaranteed charm chance. I don't see these anymore dropping. I don't know if they... You could probably get them from a brown chest. You used to be able to find a table that had paper and hearts at it at all times, and these were super easy to come by. You don't see them as much anymore. The Jar of Poison is just bad. Don't use it. The Molotov Cocktail... Same situation as the Jar of Poison. It's just kind of bad. You know, I feel the fire damage and the poison damage don't work fast enough, and they don't spread far enough for me to really justify ever using these. Pineapple Grenade is great. Stick Grenade is great, but they're both not nearly as good as the Sulfur Grenade because the Sulfur Grenade only takes up one spot, so you could have 4 Sulfur Grenades to 2 of these. You see what I'm saying? And they seem to do around the same amount of damage, so I don't know why you'd use those. I know a lot of people like to use the throwing knife because the throwing knife looks cool. There was even people that were theorizing that the throwing knife was the only one that increased your movement speed, but that was quickly proven wrong. It's any throwable. That would be cool if it did. My only issue with the throwing knife, and I hope they change this, is when I see a throwing item in a game, that's not an explosive, I expect to be able to go pick it up after I use it, whether it's from a corpse or from a wall or something. This game doesn't have that. If they added that, I would be much more of a fan of the throwing knives, or maybe like a little pouch so I can have 10 throwing knives in one slot instead of just the one. That would be interesting. But right now, yeah, I don't know why you'd use that other than style points, and that's totally fine. And the same goes for these dumbass ones, too. If you want them for the style points, you be you, brother. You also have knee pads. These are the trinkets, I should say. So I mentioned the assault rifle damage increase. If we look at this, it's actually pretty significant. I think this will go right in the go right in my inventory. So looking at a standard corpse maker, 105 damage. We slap on these dog tags. That shit's doing 183. That's like an 80 damage bump up because they do 15% each. So that's kind of insane. Those dog tags are nasty. They're dog nasty. But you can also get 4-leaf clovers, which I know a lot of people struggle to find. They used to be much more farmable when town would drop trinkets at the end of the fight. I don't know why they got rid of that. I much prefer that to the blue or the 2 black weapon chests, and I hope they change that because you can get that from St. Lucia. I'd rather go back to farming trinkets with the possibility of a pistol, even though you should reverse that because I almost always got a pistol instead of a fucking trinket. So it was almost always the Pale Horse Top Clipper, or the goddamn, which is a revolver, I should say, or the goddamn SOCOM almost every time. So these will increase your luck. These are what I typically run on a daily basis. More luck, more better, I assume. You can also get a damage buff from the Sheriff badges. Those are going to do 15% extra damage for revolvers. For some reason, we only have assault rifle and revolver increases. No one knows why or if we're going to be getting additional ones because you can just like deck this out. Say if you were wearing, I'm actually in dev mode. It's just easier to have them in there. If you had like a, where is it? Military helmet. And that does a plus 10% automatic weapon damage. You throw that on, forget about it. And with those, and there's also a military jacket, I mean it. Forget about it, because it's freaking stupid. I don't know why I'm carrying all these around. I'll keep on the close so we can move quickly. So the next one is definitely going to be... It's going to be probably widely debated on what's the best to run. I can tell you what's not the best to run would be like first aid kits. These are great in your hotbar, but anywhere else, I would not farm for these. They're very silly in my opinion. I think they're supposed to be a gag item because they do almost the exact same thing as the health potion, but without removing burning or poisoned. So I don't see the point in why you'd ever want to run these. If you find one, throw in your hotbar, use it real quick, whatever you got to do. Otherwise, they're kind of worthless. The health potion, in my opinion, is the best healing item in the game. It's also really easy to farm. The easiest method to farm it now would be going to the forest and getting rod sops because they're everywhere. So you can probably farm 10 to 12 health potions if you just focus rod sops in one run of the forest, which is insane. You can basically get kitted off of them. They're super good. And outside of that, you could also, if you haven't got there yet, you can get rod sops in caves. You can also get 3 rod sops and 1 herb from town and forward, and that will yield you another health potion. Or you can use berry jam, the sweetened one, with blood, and that will also get you a health potion. I don't know where they came up with this stuff. I hope they didn't test for these. Power bar is an essential item. These are great for getting you out of sticky situations. You don't really need to look at the health advantage or the accuracy advantages here. It's the sprint bonus that really shines on the power bar, and that sprint does stack. So if you ate 15 power bars, you're going to go so fast that you break the game and you get Sonic the Hedgehog to pull down his non-existent pants. So, because he doesn't wear pants, does he? No, he doesn't wear pants. What is with that? Pizza is a great option. A lot of people love pizza. A lot of people don't keep it in the giant thing like this until they need it. So if you were to take this pizza, and I'll just do that right now, screw it, and put it in a furnace or any cooking thing, you can make 6 slices of pizza, which is really nice. You do need cheese, bread, herbs, and a sausage. I don't know where the red sauce is coming from. Their pizza construction is all messed up in Sweden, apparently. I don't know. But pizza slices also give you 100 health over 5 seconds, same as a health potion, but without the added benefits of removing poison and burn. So that's why I say they're not nearly as good. They're also more taxing to grind for now that the forest is just loaded with rod sops. So I'm not even sure if that argument is in play anymore. Some people will probably just live and die on the pizza mountain. Some other great options, you can find chocolate bars. Spaghetti bolognese is easy to make with spaghetti and any kind of flesh you can find. Throw those together, you got spaghetti bolognese. It's a great option. There's also some not great options like surströmming. Don't use this. 50 health over 50 seconds is super dangerous, but you could sell that for 175 sulf coin. So if you find it, pick it up. That's secretly a treasure item. I don't know why I have it in the optimal loadout thing. I just grabbed some stuff that I recognize. Nashville hot chicken is another great option. It's 25 health over 10 seconds, so it's not super fast, but it is good to heal in between fights. You can farm these really easily in town with all the chickens that are in town. They now drop, they have a chance to drop chicken items. It's like almost 100%, if not 100%. So, you know, you're not always going to get the Nashville hot chicken. In order to get Nashville hot chicken, you need spice mix, which is salt and pepper, plus raw chicken. Oops. And that will make it. For some reason, it's not raw chicken plus hot sauce. That, to me, screams, that should be what it is. I don't know. And then you've got soda. This, to me, is one of the best items in the game. Even ignoring the accuracy buff, I don't care too much for those. You know, I already try to keep my guns as accurate as possible if I can. But this is going to give you, removes burning and poison, so you get that same benefit from health potion, but without having to use a health potion. And the nice thing about sodas is Stiff Leg is always selling them, so whenever you're at the church, just buy one, and then hopefully you're not getting poisoned or burned so much so often that you constantly need these. Now, if you're just a rich person and you can just fill your entire inventory with health potions, do that, and you don't mind just burning through them. Go for it. But I personally like to have a few sodas. 3 or 4 sodas, I think, is a good number. Hard shell tacos are great. 25 health over 2.5. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches are great. Those are easy to get, especially in dungeon. Those the materials like the bread, the jam, and the peanut butter are all in abundance there. Cheeseburgers have an upgrade to the double cheeseburger. Both of those are great. 200 health over 10 seconds. Not as quick. Also, a lot of overkill. You don't need 200 health because you don't have 200 health. You have 100. But that's probably some sort of joke on it being twice, although that's 4 times, over 4 times the heals of the normal cheeseburger. Okay, that's hurting me to think about. So I'm just not going to do that anymore. Cheese tops, you could find these on the chef. If you ever see the chef, talk to him. Buy some cheese tops off of him if you're in a pinch, because 25 health over 10 seconds is really good. Chocolate mud cakes, people really like these. Again, the benefits aren't as crazy with 50 health over 10 seconds. Does not touch 100 health over 5 seconds. It's good, but it's not in the same echelon of pizza, and it's really health potions just stand above everything else. I got to be honest, there's really not a whole lot that's going to dethrone the health potion. You also got frog legs from France, which I'm not going to pronounce that name, so go fuck yourself if you thought I was. Those are going to give you 35 health over 10 seconds. I only put them here. I don't typically love to have 2-slot items like this or the chocolate bar, but you find these a lot in town, both the chocolate bar and that. And if you want to just farm these for free, go check the bars in town. They're almost always on the tables in the bars. Not almost always. It's still going to be RNG, but you have a good shot of finding them in there, and that's a free 35 health. You can't beat that. Liquor's weird because it gives you the charisma buff. Charisma is currently disabled. If you've ever wondered what that did, it's currently disabled, but if it ever gets enabled again, it used to give you buying and selling bonuses, so the sulf coins would be cheaper, or you'd get more for selling stuff, but it was broken with stuff like the high heels and the gold crown and everything. Apparently, they thought it was too strong. I don't know. Sports drink is another option. To be honest, it's just got a lot of benefits. You could read through them right there, but it's, I don't know. I don't ever really use it because it's a 2-slot. If it wasn't a 2-slot, I'd probably have like 4 of those, 4 sodas. Why not? Bottled water is one that you find everywhere. If you're out of options, pick up bottled water. Use it whenever you get burned or poisoned. It's going to come up clutch. Herbal tea is going to give you a sprint bonus. This thing is like broken. That sprint bonus, it just says +2. Pair this with a few, maybe 1, 2, 3 power bars, and you basically just teleport. Herbal tea is really weird with that. Also gives you the added bonuses of burning and poisoning removal. There is a lot of food in this game. If there's the 2 things that there's a lot of everything, but the 2 that there's the most things of is food and oils. I've broken down oils in the gun building video. Again, watch that. It won't have the new 100 added, and I am dreading getting that set up again, at least in my current sleepy headspace. But so the food is going to be mostly personal preference, although there are some that are just objectively better. You know, we could argue, but you cannot say the added benefits of health potion are beaten out by anything. Sure, you might have an easier time grinding pizza if you don't like the forest, but the Rod Sop's abundance in the forest is great. Now, there are specific items that don't fall into the general loadout, and that would be like specialty items that help with specific areas. I put them in the fridge, except for the dunce cap. I don't know why I guess the dunce cap is a specialty item, but this is an item that gives you 4 extra jumps. Now, that is going to be huge. I mean, I guess mostly just in Dungeon. Dungeon has a secret area. It's an obelisk. Either you know about it or you don't, but you can... How would I explain that room? It's basically one room, 2 holes in the ground, a giant obelisk with these weird, like, crusty shell things going up around it. You can dunce cap jump up there. You'll need those 4 jumps to get up there. And if you can do that little parkour bit up there, you'll be able to get a free black chest. So, very huge. Definitely do it. If you want more information on that, let me know, and I can make a short, and I could share the short and show you exactly how to do that. I just don't have the time to edit anything together today, and I haven't put up an actual video in like a week, because last week with all the updates, it's just been mostly live streams, which are almost the same thing as this. I could have done this in a live stream. It would have taken 3 times as long because we'd be chatting and having fun, and that's not a negative. That's awesome. I prefer that. I want to switch to doing mostly live streams anyways, but how about we talk about that on a different day, huh? Okay. We will talk about that. Don't worry. You're not in trouble, my video enjoyers. You could still enjoy the VOD. Diving mask is one that's great for going underwater, so you can use this a lot in sewers. It's going to clear up the murkiness of the water. I typically don't use it, and the benefits of that murky clear up, it's not noticeable in forest. In fact, it sucks in forest. Sunglasses is great if you're fighting the Mace Knight in dungeon, because the +1 wearing shades, if I were to show you, makes it so that you're wearing shades. See, it's a little darker, and you're unaffected by the Mace Knight. I don't know about his recent changes. I haven't checked. They did make it so his fight is more intuitive, and you can tell what's actually going on. You can also, wearing goggles with the ski goggles is going to change your view, too. I think it's supposed to. I don't see any difference, honestly. I haven't messed around with those since I started the game. I don't know why I left. Diving Fin is another one that's great for sewers. It's going to help you with your swim speed. I say it's great, but I also don't think it's totally important. Holy Toast is a way around having to use those. It's a food item, a consumable that will give you Coyote Time. I didn't explain what Coyote Time was because I'm an idiot when I was talking about the shoes, but Coyote Time makes it so if you walk off a ledge, you keep walking. It stacks just like power bars, so feel free to go crazy and walk on water like your boy Jesus. Everybody loves that guy. That's why we bring Holy Time for an additional one Coyote Time, which, yeah, now that I look at it, is better than Holy Toast. I mean, removes burning and voodoo. I don't know why you'd want to remove voodoo when no enemies currently can give you voodoo, but that's interesting to think about. Possible theories for another day. You also have things like Rod Sop Paste and Admiral White Extra Strong. I don't know what that crap is, but both of these will give you slow motion. And I mean, Admiral White Extra Strong is considerably better. I don't use these items, but they are cool. I've used them before with some wacky gun builds the chat gave me during stream. I think they were calling it like John Woo shooting or something. I don't remember exactly. I can't remember who they were referencing it from, but I remember the flying doves. But anyways, you can use these to slow down time. This might be good for the terror bomb. He can move quickly and you have to hit those eyeballs. But in general, they'd be good for anything that you might have a hard time like aiming against, even the birds flying down to you on forest. You also have green tea, which will give you the melee buff. I told you we'd come back to that, and green tea will also give you a melee buff. There's some weird ones that I will never use, like anti-poison gum will give you 80 poison resistance for 120 seconds. This might be better if there was a boss that did some heavy poison damage. Excuse me. Now, I have a disease. The town bosses have a chance of being poisoned, so you could have some use there, but I would recommend just bringing the sulf sodas or whatever to the town bosses and just guarding yourself from both fire and poison resistance. You also have the extra lung or the oxygen tank. The extra lung is going to give you plus 20 seconds of lung capacity, helping you to breathe underwater longer. Great start, but just get the oxygen tank if you ever see it and hold on to one of these. Always just have it ready if you're looking to do some spelunking in the water and sewers. I don't think spelunking is the correct term. I think that's for like cave diving, but I used it anyways, bitch. So I always keep one in my chest. It's a great thing to just have on hand and not necessarily in your inventory because that'd be weird. There's also an area in caves where you can dive deep down and find a secret chest down there. If you don't know of that area, you can check out my caves guide. I'm not going to make it short for that because I already got the reference for you right there. Look at that. Some other things that will help you build specific guns, like ones that do a heavy amount of poison damage. Like, if you want to use the Scroll of Noxia, you basically need something that's going to prevent you from killing, or you're not supposed to say it on YouTube, for you from deleting yourself or whatever in Minecraft. And for that, you'd need poison resistance, so you can use a gas mask. You can use a hazmat suit. That's going to give you 100% poison resistance. Some other builds could be like a flamethrower or lava. That would be firefighter helmet and jacket, both giving you 100. Electric is weird because you can get 25 from the raincoat, 25 from the rubber boots, so 75, and then only 10 from the Sylvester hat, 85%. Feels like an oversight. It feels like this should be 25, the plus 25. And I'm saying percent, but that's wrong. It's just 25 flat. If we're going to keep nerfing guns and stuff, maybe we buff the Sylvester hat so that this whole outfit makes sense, huh? Give a couple buffs out once in a while, not just the durability. You also can help prevent frost with the fluffy hat giving you 50, ski goggles giving you 20, the winter scarf giving you 20. The Parka giving you 50. The Christmas socks giving you 20. Apparently, frost is something you could really help prevent. I could see that being beneficial in the graveyard, but not something I would want to use all the time. Oh my goodness, that was a lot of words. I cannot believe we made it through that. I'm not done yet, though. You may have noticed something. It might have freaked you out just a little bit. I didn't mention the flicker, but that's because there's no reason for the flicker to ever leave your inventory. The flicker, my dear friends, is perfect for crack walls in caves. It's the newest pocket rocket. It's also just a great backup that takes up 1 slot. This is my official new build for the pocket rocket. I don't know why I said I should have quotation marks new, not build, because gun building in this game is a serious art, and it does take a lot of working and thinking, and gun building can be a lot in this game, especially when they keep adding things. That's why it's taking so long. I did make a couple of new guns that I'm excited to show off, but I wanted to do this. I don't know why. I was like, this just feels like it could be really useful to some people. Or it might just seem like a lot of yapping. If it just felt like a lot of yapping and you still have so many questions for the last time, put them in the comments section and we can write it out as clear as you need, and you can have follow-up questions and everything. Or you can join the Discord and ask me at any time. My notifications are a lot easier to come through on the Discord, so if you have specific questions for me or anyone else that is wanting to help people learn the game, go ahead. Or just talk about dumb shit. That's what the Discord's good for. The TMU, you can find it in the YouTube channel About Me section. So yeah, for the new friggin' pocket rocket, we got Explosion, a shotgun chisel, of course, Tandem, Gemini, Potshot, Inherited. You know, Tandem giving the extra shot, Gemini giving the extra shot, Potshot kind of giving more damage, so if you do need to use it as a backup, it's there for you. And then Inherited, so you don't have to keep repairing it all the time. You can do whatever you want with your pocket rocket. The only thing that matters is it's got Explosion. That's the only thing that matters. And then this final chest, my friends. Oh, this is the exciting one. It is my official picks. You're going to watch me get kitted right now. Oh, I put all this stuff down here. for the flicker, I put it all down here. So you're going to see, oh, you can't even see that. Oh, you couldn't even see, oh, man. References not doing great. You probably couldn't see most of that. Maybe not these. I don't know. I keep the preview off on OBS because it's like super demanding on your computer, and I don't want it to lag. So, okay, so you're gonna watch me get kitted right now. If I was to pick the guns I most want to use, these got attachments on them, but these aren't the ones I normally use because, like I said, I just deleted everything. I've really been enjoying the Taylor Marksman. These are the attachments I like. I love the sound of the silencer, and then also this guy. I gun cranked him. I love putting attachments on the Death Star. I don't know why they pop more with that weird skin color of the gun. They look, and that's like a really bright skin color. Someone who needs to see the sun more. Okay, so those are the two I've been enjoying a lot. It's just like a normal run. And then for my outfit, I mentioned it. We got the titanium helmet always, ballistic vest always, the running shoes always. Well, no. I wish I had 2 SULFURs. Mine were taken from me. The game glitched when an update came out, and it stole them from me. And then, in general, I'll run these. If I'm using a specific assault rifle build, I will switch to the assault rifle dog tags. If you're building a gun, I recommend building an assault rifle or a revolver. Probably the assault rifle, and just using the dog tags, you're going to get a lot of value out of that. And that's why I think there could be some better balancing there, as far as adding trinkets that give other benefits. And then I use a bunch of health potions if I have them available. And I'll put one right here. I use a bunch of power bars if I have them available. And I will also put one right there in slot 3. The game realized that one for me. And then a sulfur grenade, as I mentioned, is great. That's my typical item I will use for running. Wow, my bad. And then I'm going to move this around because I like to have a little bit of structure. I recommend it. It's good for your brain, probably. I don't friggin' know. But I like it to look nice. It makes me feel clean. I got to feel clean, fam. So we're going to do this and that. My friends, my Sulfies is my ideal loadout. I almost wish there was one other item that was 1 slot because it would go perfect right there. But an extra health potion, I'm not complaining about. I mean, I guess you could swap that with a Holy Toast to Holy Water or an Admiral White Extra Strong, and you'll have a really clean looking loadout. Oh my goodness, you guys, we did it. Optimal loadout in Sulfur in the books. It feels really good to talk about the game again in like a more of a structured way. I love streaming, and I look forward to streaming a lot more often, but I also really love just talking shop about the game. So I'd love to hear, if you want, you can give me your exact loadout. That might help people. And if you've got some weird stuff in there, you can give a reason for why you have said weird stuff. So go ahead, comment your entire loadout if you want, or just talk about Sulfur, something you're excited about. I just want to talk about Sulfur in the comment section. That's what I look forward to after posting every video. And when I finally get a second of peace outside of the toilet, that's when I log into Pokemon Sleep and make sure I fed Snorlax before 6 p.m. That's important to me too. Okay, so anyways, yeah, that's it. That sums it up. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments, or someone else know. How many times have I said that? It's driving me crazy how many times I've said it. If you think you're mad about how repetitive I've been about talking to me, you're not as mad as me. Nobody's as mad as me about my repetitiveness. Even this ending, this outro is incredibly repetitive, right?